All right, here we go. So I don't think group travel has peaked as some predicted soon after the pandemic. Groups like empty nesters, weddings, even cancer survivor groups are still out there traveling, and that's where you guys come in. SquadTrip is a marketing and booking solution for group travel, right?
That's right. You got it.
So what problem did you set out to solve?
Ultimately, set out to solve my own problem. So if you're like me, you like to travel. If you're like me, you might have planned a destination wedding, just like I did a couple weeks ago. But in any case, bringing people together for a travel experience is really hard. Whether it's a wellness studio, it's a destination wedding, a professional group, or a group of friends. Right? There's the planning, the organizing, the collecting money, and then communicating with all of those different parties. It's fun, but it's a headache. And so just imagine what that's like for a travel agent, a wellness studio, destination wedding planner. They might be doing this hundreds of times per year or something like that. And so ultimately, that's a problem that we wanted to solve and just take the pain out of planning, organizing, and collecting money for group trips.
Yeah, there's a lot of applications involved in that, as a lot of different technologies organizers are in and out of, right? And so you're taking a stab at that too, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So in the planning stage, there's the different websites. In the execution phase, there's usually like a point of, I guess, communication where everybody can find all the details. If they choose to book now, you've got to find out how to collect money, and then you oftentimes have to track who's paid what and who owes what. There's invoices, receipts, spreadsheets, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. It's usually about 10 or 12 tools that any group travel organizer has to use, and a bunch of Advil to boot.
So how do you describe your solution? Describe it for us.
Ultimately, it's the only tool that you'll need to manage and execute a group travel experience. It's an all-in-one platform, allows you to easily build a group travel landing page with all those details in minutes, as opposed to like building out a WordPress. And then when it comes time to check out, you can set up payment options, payment plans, even set up auto billing. So it's basically like a set it and forget it solution. And then, of course, that last piece about communicating with the guests and the vendors, rather than having to pay for like a MailChimp subscription just for a couple months out of the year, you can actually use our tool to communicate with those guests and vendors, whether it's email or text message.
And there's a AI component as well, I believe.
We're working on that. I think that making that the trip landing page look beautiful and filling out the details of the description. If we already know where you're going, what you're doing, we can actually help the organizer the speed to execution, just publish that trip faster. And then there are those back and forth questions that the travelers are going to ask with the answers on the website. And we aim to essentially just make that process easier so that the organizer doesn't have to answer those questions, and our AI tool can.
So how long does it take for somebody to get set up?
About 5 minutes. If you already have the details for your trip, it's as simple as creating an account, creating your trip, publishing your trip, and then sharing it.
I mean, but your customers, how long does it take them usually to get up and running with your platform to provide it to their customers?
Oh yeah, that's what I was describing.
Oh, okay.
About 5 minutes. Yeah. So if the organizer knows where they're going, they know the pricing, they know the rooming options, they know what questions that they want to ask at registration. It's a really easy tool to use. It's built with templates, so they just have to fill out the itinerary, fill out the basic details, fill out your FAQ question, and then we're also prompting you with questions. So if you didn't think about it, we thought about it. And we get your mind going so that you can fill out those FAQ questions.
Okay. So do this. Describe for us your customers. I mean, what do they look like?
Sure. I think at the early stage that we're at, I think we're lucky and blessed to be able to say there's so many different directions we can go in. We've got birthdays, we've got family reunions, we've got bachelor parties, destination weddings. But then you have more of the professionals, and I think that accounts for about 80% of the trips and the trip revenue. That's going to be your wellness studio that's doing 4 trips annually, a travel agency that's putting on either trips for clients or what they call hosted trips, where they're branding their own travel experiences. And then you have the travel brands that are creating these unique experiences.
So describe for me why you think this is different than what has been typically used to make these happen. I mean, I understand that it's, and maybe you've already done it. There's a lot of different apps. People, it's struggling with a bunch of juggling around and everything. But maybe just succinctly for us, just describe the difference.
Sure. So I think it's either super consumer or super professional. So for the large scale travel agencies, they have these bespoke custom integrations that allow them to run their entire business. And then you have the consumer apps, or just your online travel agency like booking.com that consumers are using. But everybody in between is sort of left out. And the other added part here that I guess makes it even more niche is the fact that we're focused on the groups, not the 3-person family trip that you can go to TripAdvisor to find experiences. Even when it comes to travel agencies, more and more they're actually servicing clients that are large groups, whether it's professional or leisure groups.
Do you currently have customers?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So yeah, we process a couple $100,000 a month right now, and gross bookings. We aim to hit our $1 million month mark in 2024. We've got over 400 trips that are published, and majority of those customers at this point are repeat customers.
Fantastic. All right, Darrien, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
You bet.